Hi guys, welcome back to Saving Salvage. Sorry, I was just editing the video and realised I didn't actually do an intro for today's video, so you're probably going to get really confused as to why the next clip has me with a beard and the first one without. That is the reason. So in today's video guys, we are back on the Audi A3. I think the last time I left it with that was taking it to MOT and there were some issues and I ended up cancelling it. So in today's video, we get it back from the MOT and we need to look into that fifth gear. That will mean taking the gearbox out and reconditioning it. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching, and if you do enjoy these videos and you haven't already, please do subscribe, and if you haven't already, please do follow me on Instagram, which is saving_salvage. Right guys, let's crack on with the A3 and get this gearbox out. Right guys, just got the A3 back from MOT and the good news is she has passed with no advisories whatsoever. So that means I must have cleaned up enough of the oil off the bottom of the engine and the gearbox to satisfy them not to put an oil leak advisory down. So really happy with that. We've got a completely clean bill of health on the MOT certificate for the A3, which is sweet. And to be fair, it is actually a really nice car. It drives really nice, well as it should. Everything is spot on with it now, apart from the gearbox. So that is the reason it is back on the ramp. We're gonna have to do the biggest part of the whole project really. We're gonna have to take the gearbox out, and I'm going to strip it and have a look. A lot of you guys wanted me to do it, so bugger it, I'll do it. I'll give it a go. Worst that can happen is I'll have to buy a second-hand gearbox, which I would have to have done anyway. So I may as well try and have a look to see if we can fix this one. If I can't, I'll go and buy a second-hand one. Not really an issue. So that is what we're going to do. For those of you that remember my A3 3.2 Quattro, and you remember I had to replace the diff, and the only way that I could get the diff at a decent price was weirdly buying one that was attached to a gearbox already. So this gearbox, I've had a look, it looks identical to the one in the A3. I believe this has actually come out of a 4Motion Golf Mark V, quite a rare car. I believe this gearbox came out of one of those. So it looks identical. I mean, all the bolts, the gearbox, the look of it looks identical, but it is a completely different code. This is a FUQ gearbox, where I think the one I've got is a JLX, I think. So they are different gearboxes. Obviously internally, this has probably got a longer gear ratios for the diesel. So although it would probably work absolutely fine, the gear ratios will just be wrong. Don't get me wrong, it might be absolutely fine. Someone might tell me in the comments, mate, it literally makes no difference at all. Stick this one in. But there we go. Bit annoying, but wrong gearbox. So let us get the car in the air and we'll start taking the gearbox out, which is a bit of a pain in the ass of the Quattro, but let's go. So I will be putting this one on time lapse purely because it would probably take me, I'm not too sure, a couple of hours to take this gearbox out, maybe a little longer. So I'll just show you exactly what I've got to do to get the gearbox out. So I've just taken the engine cover off. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to remove the battery and the battery tray. That shows you the complete top of the gearbox. We'll have to remove the starter motor, which is down in that gap. We'll have to remove the gear linkage cables, and then there's 3 bolts that hold the bracket for the gear linkage cables on. We'll have to remove those as well. What else have we got up the top here? There's a couple of wires, couple of sensors. We'll probably have to remove our linkage here as well. Just makes it, I think, a little bit easier to get out. It's just 1 13mm bolt anyway. And then you've got a couple of gearbox bolts along the top. There's 1, 2, 3, and then you've got 2 holding the starter motor in. And from memory, and you've obviously got your clutch line as well, which is there, look. We'll have to remove that. Is that a, yeah, that's not a bolt on one. It's a, so when we undo that, we're going to be leaking fluid, so we'll have to bleed the clutch as well when we put it all back together. That is pretty much it from at the top. And then underneath, we'll have to remove both front wheels, we'll have to remove both drive shafts, we'll have to remove obviously the wishbones as well to get the drive shafts out. And then for the gearbox, we'll have to remove this intercooler hose possibly, because I think it might just get in the way. I'm going to drain the gearbox oil as well. I don't want to lose my fresh 80-pound gearbox oil. What else have we got? We'll have to remove the prop shaft as well, because the prop shaft, oh, better see it here, look, prop shaft there, look, and that is connected to our difflet, so I'll have to remove that. Might have to drop the subframe down because the diffs, there's the difflet, might have to drop the subframe down because the diff might get stuck in there. We've got that mount, dog bone, we've got this dog bone mount here as well. What else? We've got wheel arch liner that'll come out, and also gearbox bolts around the bottom as well. So a lot to do, so let's crack on. So a little update on the top while I have it in kind of bits. So as you can see, battery's gone, battery tray's gone. I've also removed the starter motor, which I've just pulled up here out the way. Gear linkage cables are there, look, I've just tucked them out the way as well. So that gives us a nice free space on the top of our gearbox. I've also undone the two gearbox bolts, there's one there and one here. The other gearbox bolts were the starter motor as well, so you can see that one there and one below it there. So as far as the top's concerned, all we've got left to do is remove the clutch hydraulic cable, which I'm going to leave till last for obvious reasons, so I don't get clutch fluid going everywhere. And then what we'll have to do is we'll have to support the engine and then remove the gearbox mount. So it'll be those 3 bolts there. Then we'll have to take the actual bracket off as well, which is another 3 bolts there, there and there. Then that will come off, and that is the top done. There's nothing else that should be in the way, everything else is clear. I'll just quickly show you underneath what I've done. As you can see here, wishbones are off, drive shaft off this side. I've removed the wheel arch liner this side. I've removed intercooler hose. I've removed the starter motor now, that's gone, that's tucked up the top. Underneath here, I've removed the dog bone mount, which went here, across here. Unplugged the oil level sensor. I have removed this drive shaft as well. That's gone as well, and you won't be able to see it, you might be able to, but I've also disconnected the prop shaft, which was actually really easy on this. Only took about a minute to disconnect the prop shaft, and I've just pushed the engine that way just so it pops out. So that's all done as well. There's also a bracket here on the back of the diff. Again, you won't be able to see it. It's just a bracket bolting the diff to the block. I've removed or undone that bracket. I can't actually get it out at the minute, so that's all undone as well. What else have we got left? I'm pretty sure there's not much else left to do. Just looking at it here, I think I've just got my bolts. So there's one bolt on the back of the gearbox this side, and there's bolts 1, 2, 3, and there's 3 more bolts underneath. I've also already undone the bolts at the top, so we don't have to do those. So I think that is it. So what we'd do now is, I don't have an engine brace to be able to hold the engine up, so I have to do it a bit of a ball ache way. I should really just get a brace, it would be a lot easier. But what I do is I'll have a axle stand under here which is going to support the engine, and then I'll get a pair of ladders. I'm going to go up the top. I'm then going to have a gearbox mount under the gearbox, and I'm just going to remove the gearbox mount, so then I can pull it out and my axle stand will keep the engine in position. I do understand that it would be a lot easier if I had an engine mount. I should probably get one, but I just don't at the minute. So that is the way I'm going to do it, and hopefully that will give me enough room to wiggle the gearbox and the diff out without having to drop the subframe a little bit. Unsure at this point, but we'll give it a go. Here we go guys, gearbox is all out. It wasn't actually too bad in the end. Don't forget, I am doing this completely on my own guys. I don't have any help to get this out. There was no one available to help me today. So I have got it out on my own, and the way I did it in the end was, I think I left you with a few more bolts to undo. I can't exactly remember now, to be fair. So I've taken the took the slave cylinder off the housing there, look. So I just disconnected it there. And then I had to end up removing the subframe bolts, so I've just dropped the subframe down about 1 inch, and I've actually, as you can see, look, just used a strap just to pull the subframe back about 1.5 inches, which gave me enough leeway to be able to get the gearbox out with the diff. Look, just makes it so much easier, because it is a complete pain with this diff trying to fit it in that gap, especially with the subframe here. Look, gets in the way, so it's very difficult, especially on your own. So that just gave me an extra sort of 1.5 inches, which was enough, the difference in the end, to be able to get it out on my own or not. So there she is, she's completely out, completely covered in oil. It's filthy. So we're halfway there, hopefully. Right guys, I'm going to leave the video there for today, purely because I want to do the gearbox overhaul, repair and refit in one video. And also I'm cautious that I haven't given you an update on this car for probably about a week now, and if I were to go ahead, repair the gearbox and then put that video out, it's probably going to be more like 2 weeks before you got an update. So I thought I would do the update for the MOT and gearbox removal as one video, which is what you've just watched, and then the next video in it will be the repair, and hopefully that means the car will then all be done. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching these videos, and also a bit of a teaser, I have a new project car. Now the Mustang's gone, I've instantly replaced it. I've already picked the car up, so I will be filming that tomorrow. There'll be a new car on the channel, and it's the biggest, no, it's the most ballsy project I've done, not in terms of damage, but in terms of risk versus reward. That is the most ballsy bit. So hoping to get that video out to you guys on Thursday or Friday. I will let you know on Instagram which day it will be. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.